The world that time forgot. The year is 1580. In England, William Shakespeare is just a bored teenager who has no idea he's about to change literature forever. While humans are busy fighting wars with wooden ships and swords, something incredible is happening in the freezing, pitch-black abyss of the North Atlantic. Deep in the crushing pressure of the ocean, a tiny gray shark is born. It's no bigger than your forearm, and it's starting a journey that will outlast almost every other life form on the planet. Think about that for a second. This creature is unaware of kings or empires. It has no clue that the Industrial Revolution is coming, or that entire civilizations are going to rise, peak, and crumble into dust right above its head. It's still breathing. It's still hunting in the dark. It has survived every war, every invention, and every world-changing event in modern history. This isn't just a fish, it's a living time capsule. This is the Greenland shark, the animal that literally forgot how to die. The slowest predator on Earth. If you saw a Greenland shark for the first time, you'd probably be, well, pretty underwhelmed. It doesn't look like a sleek, terrifying great white that's ready to jump out of the water. Honestly, it looks like a giant waterlogged rock with fins. It moves at a top speed of less than 1 mile per hour. To put that in perspective, that is literally slower than a casual human walk. Its skin is a dull, mottled gray, and its face looks like it's been tired for 300 years straight. However, this is where it truly becomes nightmarish. The weirdest thing about this shark? It is almost completely blind. If you look closely at its eyes, you'll see these strange, stringy things dangling from the pupils. That isn't seaweed. That's a parasite called Omatacoida elongata. These tiny alien-looking crustaceans attach themselves directly to the shark's eyeballs and slowly eat away at its vision until the shark can see nothing but blurry shadows. And get this, nearly 100% of adult Greenland sharks have these parasites living on their eyes. So let's recap. We are talking about a predator that is blind, moves slower than a turtle, and lives in a world of near-freezing, pitch-black darkness. It sounds like the most pathetic hunter in the ocean, right? Wrong. Because when scientists cut them open to see what's in their stomachs, they don't just find slow-moving fish. They find seals. They find a giant squid. In one famous case, they even found the remains of a reindeer and a polar bear. How does a blind, slow-motion fish manage to catch and eat a polar bear? To answer that, you have to realize that in the deep sea, being fast isn't the only way to win. Sometimes being the most patient thing in the dark is the ultimate superpower. A world in slow motion. The Greenland shark lives in water so bone-chillingly cold, it's basically slushy. At these temperatures, the normal laws of biology just stop. Everything in this shark's body happens in extreme slow motion. Its muscles, its reflexes, even the way its cells divide. To give you an idea of how chill this shark is, its heart only beats about 5 times a minute. That's 1 beat every 12 seconds. Because its body burns almost zero energy, it doesn't swim so much as it drifts through the water like a 1,000-pound ghost. But here's the crazy part. This slowness isn't a weakness. It's actually its deadliest weapon. See, most predators like great whites create huge pressure waves in the water when they swim. Most fish and seals can feel them coming a mile away. But the Greenland shark? It's a literal stealth master. It glides through the pitch-black dark in total, terrifying silence. It moves so slowly that it's essentially invisible to the ears of its prey. The leading theory is that these sharks are the ultimate sleep predators.
Think about it. Seals have to sleep underwater sometimes to avoid being eaten by polar bears at the surface. The Greenland shark just waits. It drifts through the freezing dark, inching closer and closer until it's literally right in front of the poor thing's sleeping face. Then it doesn't even bite. It just opens its mouth and creates a massive vacuum suction force, inhaling the seal before the poor thing has a chance to wake up. It's not a chase, it's a haunting. It's the closest thing to a real-life boogeyman in the ocean, a blind, freezing cold monster that you'll never hear coming until you're already inside its stomach. The secret to living 5 centuries. For decades, the Greenland shark was the ocean's biggest mystery. See, usually, if you want to know how old a shark is, you count the rings on its backbone, kind of like a tree. But the Greenland shark doesn't have a normal skeleton. It's made of soft cartilage that leaves no rings behind. Scientists were literally guessing until they tried something genius. They decided to look into the eyes of the shark. The very center of a shark's eye lens forms before it's even born, and it stays the same for its entire life. It's a literal biological time capsule. To crack the code, researchers used radiocarbon dating to look for a nuclear fingerprint left behind by the atomic bomb tests of the 1950s. Think about how wild that is. If the eye had traces of that radiation, the shark was young, meaning it was born after the 50s. But when they tested the largest sharks, there was absolutely no trace of modern radiation, none. When they crunched the numbers based on how slowly these giants grow, only about 1 centimeter a year, the results were earth-shattering. Scientists estimated that the oldest sharks were 400 to 500 years old. That means sharks are swimming in the dark right now that were already alive when the Great Wall of China was still being finished. They were already adults when the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth Rock. They have survived 5 centuries of human history, the rise of empires, the invention of electricity, the first flight, and 2 world wars, all without ever knowing we even existed. While we were busy building the modern world, these sharks were just drifting. They aren't just animals anymore. They're living artifacts from a world that time forgot.
The cost of immortality. But here is the catch. Living this slowly, being basically immortal, comes with a massive, terrifying price. Think about how most animals live, have babies, and die in a decade or 2. Not the Greenland shark. These giants don't even reach puberty until they're about 150 years old. Let that sink in for a second. By the time this shark is finally ready to start a family, most other species on Earth have been dead for a century. This is what makes them the most vulnerable creatures in the ocean. When a fishing boat accidentally catches one of these sharks in a net, it's not just killing a fish, it's erasing a living piece of history that might have been swimming since the American Revolution. If we kill too many of them, their population can't just bounce back. They can't just make more. You're looking at a 150-year waiting list just to replace one shark. It is the ultimate irony of nature. They are built to last forever, yet they are hanging by a thread. They survived the crushing ice of the North Atlantic for half a millennium. They survived 500 years of storms, predators, and freezing darkness. They survived the birth of the modern world, but they might not survive us. In the end, the animal that forgot how to die is finally facing something it can't just wait out. The global highway. We used to think these sharks were stuck in the freezing North Pole, trapped by the ice. But we were wrong, again. Recently, a research sub in the Caribbean, thousands of miles away from the Arctic, caught one of these ghosts on camera. It turns out, if you go deep enough, the ocean is freezing everywhere. These sharks are using the abyss like a massive, pitch-black interstate highway to travel between continents. But here's the truly trippy part.
Because they're blind and the deep sea is just a never-ending black void, the shark probably has no idea where it even is. To us, the Arctic and the tropical Caribbean are worlds apart. But to a Greenland shark, it's all just one long, cold hallway. It's been swimming that same dark hallway for 500 years, and it has seen absolutely nothing. It isn't a traveler of distance, it's a traveler of time. It's not just moving through the water, it's moving through history, one slow, silent mile at a time. The ghost in the water. At the end of the day, the Greenland shark isn't terrifying because it's some monster with giant, jagged teeth. It's terrifying because it's a mirror that shows us just how small and fast our lives really are. Think about it. While we're up here rushing through our tiny decades, stressing over jobs, building massive cities, and fighting world-altering wars, this shark is just drifting. It mastered the ultimate survival strategy that we could never pull off. It chose to do almost nothing. By burning zero energy and moving in slow motion, it didn't just survive, it outlived every single one of its rivals. It watched the predators that were faster and stronger burn out and go extinct, while it just kept swimming. In a world that is completely obsessed with being the fastest, the loudest, and the smartest, the Greenland shark wins the game of life by refusing to run the race at all. It is a living, breathing message sent straight from the 1500s, a ghost from the past that is still hunting, still breathing, and silently watching as the world above its head changes forever. And here's the real surprise. Unless we get in its way, this same shark might just be here for another 500 years. It's going to be cruising through that freezing, pitch-black abyss long after our cities are gone and our names are forgotten. Because in the deep, dark silence of the North Atlantic, the Greenland shark isn't just a fish. It's a reminder that sometimes the best way to conquer time is to simply stop fighting it.